everybody, and welcome to your English lesson today, Once in a Lifetime by John Gullidge. This is our 13th lesson of 15 lessons. Okay, I want you to make sure you've got a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper or your home learning book. Click those things together and press play and continue the lesson. Press pause now. Okay, so I've got another feature here. And it's been highlighted in red, and this is a feature that is really useful in persuasive writing, because remember, this week we're learning about persuasive writing and how to persuade the reader. So I'm going to read this to you, and I want you to see if you can identify the feature in red and what is it doing to my writing. Vacancy for an explorer. Are you looking for an adventure within your job? Does the thought of being paid for a once-in-a-lifetime experience excite you? Then this could be the job for you. This unique job opportunity involves travelling around the world, since you'll be the captain of a first-class flying ship. You will have the chance to travel to many exotic locations while experiencing a variety of cultures and observing the habits of the phenomenal flying sea turtles. Have you ever heard of such an amazing opportunity before? Apply now, and this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity could be yours. What are you waiting for? So I want you to have a little think. I want you to read over the writing again and see if you can identify that feature in red and what is it doing to my writing. I want you to say your answer out loud and then make a note of it in your home learning book or on your piece of paper. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, so you should have said that the feature in red was rhetorical questions. And today we're going to be using rhetorical questions to persuade our readers. Okay, so then what is a rhetorical question? I wonder if you remembered. So rhetorical questions are questions that are asked to make a point, to persuade, or to express disbelief, rather than to get an answer. So when we ask a rhetorical question, we don't want an answer. We're just trying to make a point. And here we go. Here's an example of a rhetorical question. What on earth were you thinking? That might have been asked of you if you've done something you shouldn't have done. What on earth were you thinking? Nobody wants an answer there. That is about making a point or expressing disbelief. Okay, so why do we use rhetorical questions in our writing? I want you to have a little think, then say your answer out loud, and then make a note of it on your piece of paper or in your home learning books. Why do you think we would use rhetorical questions in our writing? Do that now. Press pause. Okay, you're great. You're back, and this is what I've said. I've said that rhetorical questions are a useful technique in persuasive writing. So you might have said that it's used in persuasive writing. And it's designed so that it speaks directly to the reader. We're really talking to the person reading, and we're giving that reader a moment to stop and to think about the question. That's why we would use rhetorical questions in our writing. So here is a bit more about rhetorical questions. If you've ever been home late, you might have been met with this rhetorical question. What time do you call this? Nobody wants an answer. The person saying the question, what time do you call this, is really trying to express disbelief at how late the child or person is. What time do you call this? Okay, so here's another example of a rhetorical question. If you've ever made a mess, you may have heard this rhetorical question. I want you to look at that picture and imagine that you are involved. And then a parent comes in and they say, what is going on in here? That is a rhetorical question. They are expressing disbelief. They cannot believe that it is such a mess in the kitchen. What is going on in here? They don't want an answer. That is a rhetorical question. Okay, so sometimes rhetorical questions can also be persuasive. Who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? Now, this is based on the fact that we would imagine that everybody would want to be a millionaire. So we're saying, well, who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? We don't want an answer. That's a rhetorical question. Okay, so there are 3 things that a rhetorical questions can do, 3 different types of rhetorical questions. You can ask a rhetorical question to make a point. You can ask a rhetorical question to persuade. And you can ask a rhetorical question to express disbelief. We're going to have a little bit of a closer look at these 3 different types of rhetorical questions. Okay, so I've got an advert here, and I want you to identify the rhetorical question in this advert. Can you find it? And then I want you to tell me, is this rhetorical question to try and make a point? Is it trying to persuade people to do something? Or is it expressing disbelief? Can't believe that's happened. Let's do the first one together. So the rhetorical question is, so now what's your excuse? That is our rhetorical question. And it's an advert by Nike, and they want people to buy their trainers. And they're saying, so now what's your excuse? They're trying to persuade people that get the trainers and you can get out there and you can do it. So this is an advert. It's trying to persuade people to buy the trainers. Okay, your turn to do this one. First of all, I want you to identify the rhetorical question. That's an easy one. And then I want you to tell me, is it to make a point? Is it to persuade? Or is it to express disbelief? I want you to have a little think, say your answer out loud, and then make a note on your home learning book of what that rhetorical question is trying to do. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, great. So you're back. So the rhetorical question there is, do you drink bottled water? Do you drink bottled water? It's a bit tricky, isn't it? So do you think it's to make a point, to persuade, or to express disbelief? Well, I've said it's to persuade. It's to try and persuade people to not drink bottled water. Some people think that drinking bottled water, we're using too much plastic. So I think this is an environmental rhetorical question to try and get us thinking about, do we drink bottled water? Because really, we should be using reusable bottles. So I think that is a rhetorical question to persuade. Okay, let's have a look at this rhetorical question. I want you to find the rhetorical question there. And then I want you to tell me, is it to make a point? Is it to persuade, or is it to express disbelief? I want you to have a little think, say your answer out loud, and then make a note of it on your piece of paper or in your home learning book. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, great. So we've done that. Let's have a look. Okay, so the rhetorical question there is, kids grow up so quickly, don't they? And this one is to make a point. It's trying to make a point that, gosh, don't kids grow up really quickly? It's a make a point rhetorical question. Okay, let's have a look here. First of all, find the rhetorical question, say the rhetorical question out loud. Is it trying to make a point? Is it trying to persuade? Or is it trying to express disbelief? Okay, have a little think. Say your answer out loud, then make a note of it in your home learning book or on your piece of paper. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, so you're back, and are you kidding? Oh, listen to how I say that. That's going to help you with what the purpose of this rhetorical question is. Are you kidding? Yep, it's expressing disbelief. I can't believe you'd think about doing that. Are you kidding? Oh my goodness. Anyway, expressing disbelief. Can't believe it. Okay, here's another ad. Okay, I want you to have a look at this. Is it trying to make a point? Is it trying to persuade, or is it trying to express disbelief? I'd have a look at all of the writing on this and that will help you with what the purpose is of that rhetorical question. I want you to say your answer out loud and make a note of it on your home learning book or on your piece of paper. Do that now, press pause. Okay, first of all, the rhetorical question. Why love one but eat the other? Okay, now this is to try and persuade people to choose vegetarian. This is an advert for vegetarianism, and that is trying to persuade us, that rhetorical question. Okay, here's a good ad. Can you find the rhetorical question, and can you tell me what the purpose is of this rhetorical question? I want you to say your answer out loud, then write it down on a piece of paper or in your home learning book. Do that now, press pause. Okay, great. And the rhetorical question is one word, hungry. Hungry. Okay, if you are, why don't you grab a Snickers? Of course, it is trying to persuade us. It's trying to persuade us to eat a Snickers. Adverts are really good at having a rhetorical question to try and persuade us to buy something. Okay, so let's have a look here. So I have written, I've got something written here. Is it a rhetorical question or is it a statement? Should it have a question mark at the end or a full stop? I'm going to read it to you, and then I want you to tell me whether it needs a question mark or a full stop. Is it a rhetorical question or is it a statement? Wouldn't you like to travel the world on board this incredible ship? Is that a rhetorical question or a statement? I want you to say your answer out loud and then write it down on your piece of paper or your home learning book, whether it's a rhetorical question or whether it's a statement. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, you're back, and wouldn't you like to travel the world on board this incredible ship? It's a rhetorical question. It needs a question mark. Okay, there we go. Let's have a look at the next one. You will get to travel the world and be captain of this amazing ship. Is that a rhetorical question or a statement? I want you to say that sentence out loud and then tell me, is it a rhetorical question or a statement? Write it down, whether it's a rhetorical question or a statement, on your piece of paper. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, you'll get to travel the world and be captain of this amazing ship. It's not a question, it's a statement. Well done if you got that right. Let's try it again. Here's my sentence. This could be the most incredible adventure of your life. Is that a rhetorical question or is it a statement? I want you to say that sentence out loud, and then I want you to write down in your book whether it's a rhetorical question or a statement. Press pause now. Okay. And it is a statement. Okay, let's carry on. Rhetorical question or a statement? Have you ever had an opportunity as amazing as this before? I want you to say that sentence out loud, and then I want you to work out if it's a rhetorical question or a statement. Write down in your home learning book, rhetorical question or statement. Which is it for that sentence? Do that now. Press pause. Okay, and that is, of course, a question. Have you ever had an opportunity as amazing as this before? It's a rhetorical question. Okay, let's try another one. If you get this job, you'll get to observe the flying sea turtle. Is that a rhetorical question or is it a statement? I want you to read that sentence out loud to yourself and then write down in your home learning book whether it's a rhetorical question or a statement. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, and let's have a look. It is a statement. If you get this job, you will get to observe the flying sea turtle. It's a statement. Okay, let's try this one. Come on, what are you waiting for? Is that a rhetorical question or a statement? I want you to say that sentence out loud and then write down in your home learning book whether it's a rhetorical question or a statement. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, great. And it is a question. What are you waiting for? Come on, apply for the job. It's a rhetorical question. Okay, so now we're going to try a different activity. This time, I've got 2 questions. One of these is a rhetorical question. One of these is being said to make a point or persuade or express disbelief. One of them is a question. It actually is demanding an answer. So which one is the rhetorical question and which one is demanding the answer? Right, let's do the first one together. Question number 1, where do you think you're going? Question number 2, where are you going? Which one of those is a rhetorical question? Write down 1 and 2 on your page, and I want you to tick next to the number, which is the rhetorical question. Is the tick going to go next to number 1? Is that the rhetorical question? Where do you think you're going? Or is the tick going to go next to number 2? Where are you going? Which one of those is a rhetorical question? Which one demands an answer? Have a little think. Make a note of your answer or your tick next to your number, and then press play and continue the lesson. Okay, great. And let's have a look. Where do you think you're going? That is a rhetorical question. Where are you going? I'm going to the park. I'm going to the shops. But where do you think you're going is the rhetorical question there. Okay, 2 more questions for you. Number 1, what is the time? And number 2, what time do you call this? Which of those is the rhetorical question? You could read those questions out loud and then write down number 1 and number 2 and tick which one is the rhetorical question. I want you to do that now. Press pause. Okay, so what did you get there? Is it number 1 or is it number 2? That's right, it's number 2. What time do you call this? Expressing disbelief. Someone's come home a bit too late. Okay, 2 more questions here. Number 1, who are you? And number 2, who do you think you are? Which one of those is the rhetorical question? Read the questions out loud. Try and use some expression. It's really helpful. And then write 1 and 2 and tick which one is the rhetorical question, the one which doesn't need an answer. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, so 1 or 2, which one is the rhetorical question? Which one is not wanting an answer? And it's number 2, who do you think you are? Okay, let's carry on. 2 more questions. Number 1, do I look like I was born yesterday? And number 2, when do you think I was born? I want you to say those questions out loud, and then I want you to write 1 and 2 and tick the number, which is the rhetorical question. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, great. And which one of those is a rhetorical question? There we go. Do I look like I was born yesterday? Okay, we would not want to answer that question if somebody asked it. Okay, let's try it again. Number 1, are you going to apply for the job? And number 2, how would you feel if you didn't apply for the job? Which one of those is a rhetorical question? This is a bit tricky, this one. I want you to say them out loud, really use some expression. And then I want you to write 1 and 2 and tick the number which is the rhetorical question. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, you're back. And so which one of those is the rhetorical question? Number 2, how would you feel if you didn't apply for the job? That's persuasive. That's trying to persuade someone to apply for the job. Okay, so this time I want us to, we're going to think a little bit more. Is this a rhetorical question or a non-rhetorical question? We've just been doing that. Which one is a rhetorical question? So, is this a rhetorical question? Or is it a non-rhetorical question? So a non-rhetorical question means it doesn't need, it needs an answer. So what is it? Wouldn't you love a sip of this drink? Wouldn't you love a sip of this drink? Is that a rhetorical question? Let's have a look. And the answer is yeah, it is. It's persuasive. It could be used in an advert, couldn't it? It's a rhetorical question. Okay, let's try the next one. Okay, is it a rhetorical question or a non-rhetorical question? The question is, how many biscuits may I have? What do you think? Is that rhetorical or non-rhetorical? Have a little think, say your answer out loud, and then write it down on a piece of paper. Is that a rhetorical question or a non-rhetorical question? Do that now, press pause. Okay, you're back into the best way to think about this is if somebody asked that question to you, would you give them an answer? Well, you would, wouldn't you? How many biscuits may I have? You may have 2 biscuits. So that would be a non-rhetorical question. That is a question that demands an answer. Somebody wants an answer to that question. Okay, let's try this question here. Is it a rhetorical question or is it a non-rhetorical question? Do you really need that many sweets? Do you really need that many sweets? Does that question demand an answer? If it demands an answer, then it's a non-rhetorical question. Or is it just really to make a point or persuade? Do you really need that many sweets? Okay, I want you to say your answer out loud, then write it down on a piece of paper or in your home learning book. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, and does that question demand an answer? No, it doesn't. It's making a point. Somebody's obviously taken far too many sweets and somebody's making a point. Do you really need that many sweets? It's a rhetorical question. Okay, let's try this one. Is it a rhetorical question or a non-rhetorical question? What did you do that for? Listen to how I'm saying this question. What did you do that for? Do you think that's demanding an answer, or do you think that that is a rhetorical question? Have a little think, say your answer out loud, then press play and continue the lesson. Okay, that is expressing disbelief. Somebody's done something very silly. What did you do that for? No answer is needed there. That is a rhetorical question. Okay, what is the weather like today? What is the weather like today? Is that a rhetorical question or a non-rhetorical question? Does that demand an answer? Does somebody want an answer for that question? Okay, have a little think, say your answer out loud, and then write it down on a piece of paper or in your home learning book. Do that now, press pause. Okay, so you're back. So what is the weather like today? Yeah, somebody would want an answer for that. It is a bit drizzly. So that is a non-rhetorical question. That question demands an answer. Okay, how about this one? Wouldn't you love to fly around the world in a first-class ship? Is that a rhetorical question or a non-rhetorical question? Wouldn't you love to fly around the world in a first-class ship? I want you to say your answer out loud, then write it down on your piece of paper or in your home learning book. Do that now, press pause. Okay, great, and that is a persuasive rhetorical question. Okay, great. So now we're going to try something new. Okay, this is another activity, another way of learning about rhetorical questions. We're just building on our knowledge, and we're getting better and better. And now I've got a statement, and I want you to turn this statement into a rhetorical question. So let's do the first one together. Here is the statement. You will get to travel the world and be captain of this amazing ship. That's a statement. I'm going to turn it into a rhetorical question. Wouldn't you love to travel the world and be captain of this amazing ship? So now it is a rhetorical question. It's a persuasive. I'm trying to persuade the reader. So these are going to be persuasive rhetorical questions now that we're looking at. I'm trying to persuade them to be captain of this incredible flying ship. So that is my rhetorical question. Okay, your turn. Here is the statement. You will get to observe these amazing flying sea turtles. How are you going to turn that statement into a rhetorical question? I want you to have a little think and say it out loud. You might have to try this a few times, and then write down your rhetorical question in your home learning book or on your piece of paper. So the statement is you will get to observe these amazing flying sea turtles. How can you turn that into a question, a rhetorical question? Do that now. Press pause. Okay, so this is what I put. I said, wouldn't you love the opportunity to observe these amazing flying sea turtles? That is my rhetorical question. Okay, let's try it again. Here's my statement. This amazing experience is something you may never have had before. That's a statement. How could you turn that statement into a rhetorical question? I want you to say your answer out loud. Once again, you might have to try this a couple of times. Think about those question words at the beginning of your question. Say your answer out loud, then write it down on your rhetorical question down on your piece of paper or on your home learning book. This amazing experience is something you may never have had before. Turn that into a rhetorical question. Do it now. Press pause. Okay, and here is my rhetorical question. I said, have you ever heard of such an amazing experience? That's how I turned that statement into a rhetorical question. Okay, let's try another one. You could be paid for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You could be paid for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I want you to turn that into a rhetorical question. Say your answer out loud, then write your rhetorical question in your home learning book on your piece of paper. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, and here is what I said. I said, does the thought of being paid for a once-in-a-lifetime experience excite you? That's what I put. You might have had something similar. Okay, and we'll try another one. Here is the statement. This will be the most incredible experience of your lifetime if you decide to go for it. This will be the most incredible experience of your lifetime if you decide to go for it. I want you to turn that statement into a rhetorical question. Say it out loud and then write it down on your piece of paper or on your home learning book. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, you're back, and this is what I put. I said, this will be the most incredible experience of your life. So are you going to go for it? Okay. Right, let's have a look. We're going to stop. We're going to move on to another way of looking at rhetorical questions. So we're just getting, our learning is becoming more and more challenging. So this time I want you to have a look at this picture. It might help you. And I want you to write a rhetorical question to try and persuade. Remember, of our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is we're trying to persuade people to apply for the job of an adventurer, to fly aboard this amazing flying ship and observe the incredible flying sea turtles. That's what we're wanting people to do. So let's have a look and see this picture here. So here we can see him being captain of the ship. I want you to write a rhetorical question to try and persuade somebody to apply for this advert. I want you to say your rhetorical question out loud and then write it down on your piece of paper or on your home learning book. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, and here's mine. I said, wouldn't you love to be captain of this flying ship? Maybe you had something similar. Okay, so we're going to try it again. Look at those majestic sea turtles. What might be a rhetorical question to try and persuade people to do this job? Use this picture to try and help you to get some ideas. I want you to say your rhetorical question out loud, then write it down on your piece of paper or on your home learning book. Do that now. Press pause. Okay, great. You're back. Here's what I wrote. I said, don't you think these flying turtles are the most magnificent creatures? Okay, that's my rhetorical question. I used that picture to help me think of that question. Okay, here we go. I want you to think of a rhetorical question. Use this picture to help you to think of an idea. You are trying to persuade people to want to apply for this incredible job. Okay, say your answer out loud and then write it down on your piece of paper or on your home learning book. Do your rhetorical question now. Press pause. Okay, and here's what I said. I said, don't you think this would be the most amazing experience? It's a rhetorical question. I'm trying to persuade people to apply for this job. Okay, let's have a look at this picture here. This is when disaster strikes. So how am I going to persuade someone that they are the right type of person for this job? I'm going to use this picture to help me with my thinking. I want you to have a think. I want you to ask a rhetorical question out loud and then write it down on your piece of paper or on your home learning book. Don't forget your question mark at the end because it is a question. Do that now. Press pause. And here's mine. Are you able to keep calm in challenging situations? Okay, you have to be really calm. Disaster strikes and you're keeping calm. Okay, oh my goodness, here is another picture. It's going to help to inspire you to write a rhetorical question to persuade somebody to do this job or to apply for this job. I want you to have a think. Say your rhetorical question out loud, then write it down. Don't forget your question mark at the end of the question, and then press play and continue the lesson. Press pause now. Okay, you're back, and here's what I wrote. I said, do you think you're brave enough to accept this challenge? I wonder what you put. Okay, so let's try this. Let's have a look and see how good we are. On your piece of paper, on your home learning book, can you please write 1, 2, and 3? We do this at school, and we've been doing this in lots of our other online lessons. Write 1, 2, and 3. And next to 1, 2, and 3, you're going to put a tick or a cross if it is a rhetorical question. Is this question rhetorical? Number 1, would you like to fly on this ship or would you rather stay at home? Would you like to fly on this ship or would you rather stay at home? And number 2, do you think you will apply for the job? And number 3, apply for this once-in-a-lifetime role. What are you waiting for? Which one of those are persuasive rhetorical questions? And which one of those is demanding an answer? Okay, 1, 2, 3, tick or cross. Press pause now. Okay, so let's have a look at the answers together. So number 1 is a tricky one. Would you like to fly on the ship or would you rather stay at home? Well, I've put that down as a rhetorical question because that could be used to really persuade people to come along and to fly on this amazing ship. Okay, number 2, do you think you'll apply for this job? Well, that's not a rhetorical question. That's a yes or a no. And number 3, apply for this once-in-a-lifetime role. What are you waiting for? And that is a very clear rhetorical question. Okay, so your task for today is to write a paragraph advertising the vacancy for an explorer. And this time, I want you to use a range of rhetorical questions. So you might use some of the writing that you've done already. And then this time you're going to use that writing, but you're going to include some rhetorical questions to try and persuade your reader to apply for the job. Okay, so here I'm going to leave this up for you. This is my example, and you might want to magpie some of my ideas. So you're going to probably need about 15 minutes to do this writing, and you're going to write for part of the advert here, trying to really persuade the reader to apply. Make sure you include some rhetorical questions. I've used 4 rhetorical questions in mine. You should probably try and use the same number. And don't forget, do use your writing that we've done in previous lessons because you're building on learning that you've already done. Okay, so get yourself nice and relaxed. Maybe put on some relaxing music in the background. And then once you're done, press play and finish the lesson. Press pause now. Fantastic. Okay, so that is the end of today's lesson. We've learned 3 different features. We learned about conjunctions, we learned about emotive language, and we learned about rhetorical questions. We're going to use those 3 features, and we're going to write a persuasive advert. And we've made a good start. We're going to continue that tomorrow. But until then, look out for rhetorical questions in your reading. Notice how the author uses rhetorical questions to persuade you, to make a point, or to express disbelief. I want you to really look out for that in your reading. Well done for joining in today's lesson, and have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody. Bye.